Okay, you guys, it's 8 o'clock at night. Anthony will be coming home from dance class. I'm in my pajamas. Never got out of my pajamas today. And I broke one of my rules. I started making art in my good clothes. And my pajamas were my good clothes. And then I have other good clothes, but the rule is I shouldn't do it. But I did it today, and I won't do it again. And I don't think I got any paint on me. Oh, shit. There's like a little glue. Anyway, I made this thing. I made this sculpture. Now, I was funny because I was calling it sick art. You know, not just sick art because we're sick, but sick art because it's sick. What I made is sick. But I keep having all these things and collecting all these things and wanting to build with all these things, and, you know, stakes stabbing into my heart right now is how I feel, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to build the heart, but I've got the stakes. Well, I have bought this doll and this magnesium, and it's destruction art to become construction art. So I'm just destroying it as I'm going, and it's getting uglier and uglier as I'm making it. But I feel good, so I keep going, which I've had this thing with me before, which is really quite funny. And I said, "So, Antonia, what do you think, honey?" And she, I said, "So is it quite ugly?" She goes, "Yeah." And so then I continued to just destroy it, and before you know it, I came back and redid the whole thing over again. And it's not ugly anymore, but it's kind of sick. So that's okay, because this phase of wherever I need to be is about being sick, and I'm tired. So for me, it's just all these symbolisms. Okay, first of all, this is some kind of chin thing from the guy that's got one kidney. Yeah, and he gave it to me. And then, remember that doll I got? What I've got is a mirror. The mirror I've just glued, but the doll, totally washed her, took her dress off. I glued black leather pants on, and I painted her dress a different color, and I put a black leather band on her waist. I put some silver on her eyes, a leather headband with real feathers, and then she's got a stone, I don't know if I can get it in the camera. I can't even see. There we go. It's a stone heart that's got a swirl on it with silver wire, and it's a piece of wire horizontally that I found in the street that I thought was really, really an interesting piece of wire. And she kind of had a hole in her hand, so on one side I went ahead and threaded it right through her hand, which is a painful thing to do. And the other one, it's bondaged like a handcuff on the left side, and then it goes right through the palm on the right side, meaning that, part of the illness, these illnesses, we're never going to get rid of. And that's the part that goes through our hand, you know what I mean? I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. It's here, and it's ours. Now, the other one is kind of like a swinging open handcuff piece that could come on and off, but it's just the hope that everything's going to be okay. And she's kind of like flying off of this thing, and then hanging off of this is all these magnesium bottles, which I covered 2 of the magnesium bottles in leather. I covered some of these other magnesium bottles in gold leaf. I'd like to get more magnesium bottles, and then for right now I have to decide whether I'll keep it or not, because there's this thing in the front that kind of sticks out. And I thought, oh, well, that could be, I put a double-sided hearted mirror here with kind of like a web, and so that, oops, sorry, that always scares me, darn it. The alarm to tell me Antonia is going to be coming up the hill or calling me soon. So what it is it's a mobile. And the mobile is, I think, what I have to decide is, am I going to keep the mirror or not? And if I decide to keep the mirror, then I probably need to take her and move her further back so that she's not right on top of the mirror. But I'm not sure. On the other hand, I may not keep the mirror there, and I may just keep, and I did some kind of weird wire coils here, and I was going to do a whole bunch more of these magnesium bottles. So what's the symbolism here in my sick little mobile? She's trying to look pretty and pink, and she's dolled up and trying to be exotic and sexy and just be herself, but you see her eyes are just bugged out, which is the way this doll came, and that's the reason I chose her, is because I feel like you know, on all the magnesium and the bananas and the tomato juice, I kind of feel like her, you know, swollen and just bug-eyed, and, you know, you're trying to take all these things to make sure you're going to be okay, you know. And, you know, oh, you look great, boy, you're so pretty, you look great. Yeah, well, you feel like shit, but, you know, everybody says you look great. And then, and this was just one, I guess this was the most recent with me trying to do the healthy part. Before I got to this sculpture, the one that I haven't figured out the materials yet. I've got the stakes, but I'm going to figure out some type of heart, an actual big heart. I'm going to shove the stakes right in, because what I realized is my heart started to betray me again, and I felt that way when I had the open heart surgery. I'd say, the heart is misbehaving, and I would say, it's your heart. No, it's not my heart. We're not friends right now. The heart is misbehaving. And it's so funny, because at first I was saying my heart, and then over time I'd say the heart, because when I get mad at it, I just disown it. But you can't disown your own heart, you know? So, anyway, you know, I still go back to that report I was thinking that those doctors were doing. Of the people that died with ME CFS, 20% committed suicide, 20 was heart problems, and right under 20% was cancer. So that's 60%. And the ages that they died at were not the ages that normal people died of cancer and the average population died of heart disease. They had found that those two, I didn't remember the suicide because a lot of young people commit suicide, so that I can't remember the average age, but the average age of suicide versus the average age of suicide with ME/CFS, I can't compare that. But the average age of dying of heart conditions and dying of cancer versus with ME/CFS, cancer and or heart conditions, there was quite a big spread going lower, younger, that we lost, I don't know, maybe some about a year, so I don't even want to quote without going back and looking at it. All right, you guys, so this is my little magnesium baby. And, you know, it's really going to be interesting because all of these pieces that I'm doing by chronic illness art is like really weird shit, really weird. And, you know, somebody was here yesterday at Anthony's party and was just starting in with me very politely and friendly, and Sonia had provoked him a little bit, which I don't like, telling me, why don't you sell some of your art? And I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't make that kind of art, and no, that is like the past, kind of like being a stockbroker. Don't even go there with me. And, I just, you know, if the people, when they see the exhibition with this weird shit that I've been making, but it makes me feel so good, even though it's uglier than dog shit, but I think when it's all in a room and I put like a little essay underneath each piece for what it means, and if I were to say that this is a, you know, a chronic illness art show, and that it's not for the public to judge, it's for the chronic illness population to judge, my guess is each one would come in and each one would find a different piece that somehow really spoke to them. And so in that way, it would be powerful and moving, even though the average person would say, why did you make that? That is so freaking ugly. You're so good at painting wild animals. Why in the world did you do that, Francesca? But it goes back to famous artists and the things that they have to do. Why they're driven to make ugly art? Because there was a lot of trauma, pain, suffering, violence, abuse, neglect, illness, just a lot of bad things that happened to them, and they just had to keep doing things. And then afterwards they die and they become famous, and then everybody goes, wow, okay, that person was a genius, because they just couldn't see it when they were alive. All right, you guys. Oh, you know what I choked on? I was eating leftover dinner of Antonia's lunch. I left her leftover lunch today. Oh my God, I had a close call with choking. It was just peas, and they got stuck, and my thing was closing, and I could barely get air passing, and I, you know, stayed calm, and then it continued to get worse, and I thought, fuck, I'm choking. I am like choking, and air's not passing. So in that moment, I got really scared, and I started just slamming on my own chest. and out shot, the other peas must have gone down, but there was one or two that just shot out and hit the wall. So whatever was, a little bit goes out, a little bit goes down, the bottom line is they cleared, and I was just shooken up for a little bit because I was choking to death on peas. How the hell you can do that, I don't know. Okay, bye you guys.